This is the book I'm talking about today, but there's many more books I have talked about already, and I will talk about many more books. And if you want to know about all of them, just follow me, and then you can have another peek in my little fermentation book library. It's time again. Books about fermentation. I'm presenting books from my fermentation library, and today I want to show you another book by Sandor Katz, and this is Fermentation Journeys. This is also a book with many recipes, but this is also a book like a diary and a little bit like a fairy tale about all the different microbes. Because when Sandor traveled around the world, he was invited by people and they showed him their ferments. Dubanjiang, for example, we probably know that or have heard about that already, but something like chicha de jora, maybe that's not so widely known. Fermented olives with lemon, for example. He traveled around the world and people taught him about what they are fermenting. Romanian whole sour cabbages, for example. And he put it all down in this book. And yes, it's a book like any other fermentation book because it talks about ferment, it talks about the science behind it, but it also talks about the culture and it takes us on the journey with him. And even though it's a recipe book and it's a book about fermentation, it is also like a novel, and I read it as a novel. And maybe I will make some of the ferments that are inside here, but even if I don't make them, I really love the way he writes about them and to read about all the different countries and cultures and microbes and what people do with that. And I would suggest to read this book just like I did, as a fairy tale fermentation book. And that is something that is quite unique. Or have you heard about any other ferment fairy tales? Sandor Katz's Fermentation Journeys.